I'm going to tell you something today that your father never could, because the world he lived in simply does not exist anymore. The rules of the game have been rewritten by technology and social shifts that have happened faster than our biological brains can adapt. The very kindness, patience, and politeness you were taught to show women are exactly the traits that are getting you ghosted in today's hyper-competitive dating landscape. Everyone on the internet is selling you a guaranteed way to make a woman like you on a first date, but anyone promising a silver bullet is lying to you for a profit. The truth is far more uncomfortable because there is no magic trick that can force attraction in a world of infinite digital options. You're sitting across from someone who likely has 1,000 other potential choices just one swipe away while you're sitting right there at the dinner table. The ancient rules of courtship have fundamentally changed, and if you keep playing by the outdated ones, you will continue to fail and feel invisible. A generation ago, having a stable job and being a nice guy was considered the finish line, but today that is barely considered the entry fee for a conversation. In the modern era, being baseline functional is completely invisible, and being excessively nice is often perceived as a lack of true masculine backbone. The competition you face is no longer just the guy she knows in her local community. It is every idealized version of a man she sees on her phone every hour. This staggering abundance of choice has created a browser mentality where people are online shopping for partners rather than seeking a real human connection. You often feel like you're being audited, measured, and judged during a first date, and the uncomfortable reality is that you are absolutely right. But the biggest mistake you are making is participating in that audit as a desperate contestant, hoping for her approval and validation. The man who actually succeeds in this environment is the one who stops trying to be chosen and starts doing the choosing himself. We must talk about the biology of attraction because it operates completely independent of what people say they want in their conscious minds. Modern culture tells you that masculine assertiveness is problematic or outdated, yet millions of years of evolution have wired the human brain to respond to it. Evolutionary programming does not care about modern social conditioning or what is considered politically correct in a social media comment section. You are facing a massive paradox, where the traits that create a primal spark are the same ones that are often publicly criticized by society. The result is a generation of men who suppress their natural masculine energy to be safe, only to find themselves stuck in the friend zone forever. A woman might consciously tell you she wants a man who shares every single emotion openly, but you must learn to watch her actual behavioral patterns. Does her energy truly increase when you talk about your steady 9 to 5 office job? Or does it spike when you describe a spontaneous risk you took? Human desire is layered, deep, and often contradictory, and it is rarely fully understood, even by the person who is experiencing it at the moment. If you want to win, you must pay attention to real physiological data like eye contact, pupil dilation, and leaning in rather than just the words being spoken. This is where the strategy of radical honesty becomes your most powerful tool for filtering out the wrong people before you waste your emotional energy. Most dating advice tells you to polish your image, highlight your best features, and hide your flaws to ensure you get a second date at any cost. But honesty that is consistently punished by the masses is exactly what identifies a genuine connection for the very few people who actually matter. When you show up as your unfiltered and authentic self, you are no longer auditioning for her approval or asking for her permission to exist. If your natural personality is too much for her to handle, then she was never your match, and you have just saved yourself months of wasted effort. The men who embellish their lives and create fake personas build their entire relationships on unstable foundations that will eventually crumble into dust. The men who stay radically honest may have fewer initial matches, but they build their lives on solid ground from the very first day of the interaction. Radical honesty is not a sign of weakness or oversharing. It is a form of high-level confidence that says, you do not need to lie to keep someone. This leads us to the filtering mindset, which represents the ultimate shift in power from the person being judged back to the person who is observing. Most men walk into a first date with a performance mentality, hoping to be selected by the judge sitting across the table with the menu. This energy is inherently needy, and neediness is the ultimate killer of attraction because it signals very low social and biological value. You need to flip the script entirely and walk into every interaction as the primary evaluator of her character, her values, and her lifestyle. What are your personal standards for a partner, and what kind of lifestyle are you building for yourself outside of the romantic world? Does this woman actually support your long-term vision, or is she just someone who happens to be pleasant to look at in the short term? When you care more about your own standards than her temporary opinion of you, the performance pressure drops and your best self naturally emerges. Think about how charming and relaxed you are around your best friends or people you're not trying to impress. That is the energy you must bring. To successfully adopt this mindset, you must first commit to building a life that is actually worth filtering for and defending. Work on your own physical health, build your financial independence, and develop real accomplishments that belong only to you and your effort. A man who has multiple options is a man who is never truly desperate, and a man who is not desperate is infinitely more attractive to others. Scarcity in your dating life creates constant anxiety, while abundance creates a natural sense of presence, calm, and masculine stillness. Presence is the rare ability to be fully engaged with what is happening right now, rather than rehearsing a perfect script in your head. When you are truly present, she feels seen in a way that other men who are busy trying to be good enough will never provide for her. Presence creates a sense of emotional safety, and that safety is the only thing that allows for genuine romantic tension and chemistry to grow. You must lead the interaction without dominating it, providing a clear and confident direction for the entire evening from start to finish. Making firm decisions about where to go and what to do signals competence and a quiet strength that women naturally respect and admire. Do not ask for her permission at every single step. Instead, offer the gift of leadership that she can choose to join if she is interested. If there is a moment of silence during the conversation, let it breathe and do not rush to fill it with nervous, meaningless chatter. Nervous people fill every gap with words because they fear the tension, but confident people are comfortable with the quiet and the space it brings. Silence is often the space where the most important emotional and sexual data is exchanged between two people who are interested in each other. Understand that many people you meet today are simply browsers who are not even ready or willing to choose a serious partner. If you get rejected by a browser, it is not a failure of your personality or your tactics. It is a fundamental mismatch of basic human intentions. Do not take it personally when someone who does not know what they want decides they do not want to move forward with you specifically. Your goal is not to manipulate her into liking you, but to efficiently find the person who responds to exactly who you are at your core. Modern dating is undeniably harder than it used to be for our ancestors, but it remains possible for the man who is willing to be real. Stop trying to hack attraction with psychological tricks and start becoming someone who is genuinely attractive through self-reliance and grit. Take back your power by knowing your own worth and holding your personal standards much higher than your immediate physical desires. The real thing is extremely rare in this world of filters and highlights, and it is only found by those who refuse to perform a fake version. Go out there today, be completely present in the moment, and stop auditioning for the approval of strangers you might never see again. The right woman is not looking for a perfect performer. She is looking for a man who is real enough and strong enough to lead his own life first. Your time on this earth is your most valuable asset, so do not waste it on people who only want to see your curated highlight reel. Build your own foundation, trust your internal filter, and the rest of your life will eventually fall into the right place. Attraction is not a choice she makes with her logic. It is a visceral response to the value you project through your actions and your honesty. If you are constantly looking for a sign of approval, you are signaling that you do not believe you are enough on your own. A man who is enough on his own does not need the date to go perfectly because his happiness is not tied to her reaction or her text back. This detachment from the outcome is the secret weapon that makes you stand out from the thousands of other men she has met this year. When you are detached, you are free to speak your truth without fear of losing someone you barely even know yet. This freedom is what allows you to be playful, challenging, and authentic, which are the true building blocks of an emotional spark. Stop asking what she wants to hear and start asking yourself what you actually want to say in that specific moment of the conversation. The paradox of dating is that you become most attractive when you act as if you need the romantic connection the least. This is not about being cold, distant, or manipulative. It is about being grounded in your own reality and your own masculine purpose. A man with a purpose does not have time to play games, and that lack of games is what makes him a high-value searcher in a fake world. In a world full of performers and browsers, be the man who is looking for substance and is not afraid to walk away from the fluff. Every first date is a chance to practice this radical honesty and to refine your own internal standards for a long-term partner. Do not settle for someone who merely tolerates you. Look for the one who recognizes and values the real man standing in front of them. This process of filtering requires immense courage because it means you will face more rejections in the short term. But those rejections are actually silent successes because they are clearing the path for the one relationship that actually matters. The path of the performer is easy at the very start, but gets harder every single day as the lies become more difficult to maintain. The path of the honest man is difficult at the start, but gets easier every day as he builds a life based on truth and integrity. Choose the harder path today so that you can have the easier and more meaningful life tomorrow with someone who truly knows you. You are not a product to be sold or marketed. You are a man to be known, and that distinction makes all the difference in the world. Hold your head high, speak your truth clearly, and let the wrong ones leave so the right one can finally find you in the crowd. This is the end of the audition, and the beginning of your journey as a man who chooses his own destiny and his own partner. Focus on your growth, cherish your honesty, and never compromise your standards for the sake of a temporary and hollow connection. The world of dating will always be changing, but the core principles of masculine value and truth remain timeless across every generation. Be that man of value, be that man of truth, and you will never have to worry about making someone like you ever again in your life. They will like you because you are real, and in a fake world, that is the most attractive and magnetic thing anyone can ever be. I hope you take these words and apply them to your next interaction with a sense of calm and total self-assurance. You have the tools, you have the knowledge, and you have the mindset. Now all that is left is for you to show up as your actual self. Good luck on your journey, and remember that you are the one who decides who is worthy of your precious time and energy. The search for the real thing starts with you being real first. So do not let another day go by as a tired performer. Your future self will thank you for the honesty you show today and the standards you refuse to lower for anyone, no matter how beautiful. Stay grounded, stay focused on your mission, and keep moving forward with the quiet confidence of a man who knows exactly where he's going. This is the modern blueprint for success, not just in dating, but in every single aspect of your life as a man in this complex century. Take these principles and build something that lasts, something that is based on the solid ground of radical honesty and self-respect. You deserve a connection that is real, but you must be real enough to attract it and strong enough to keep it when it arrives. The journey continues every day, and your role as the chooser has just officially begun in this complex world of modern dating. Every interaction is an opportunity to prove to yourself that your standards matter more than your need for approval. Do not be afraid of the no, because every no from the wrong person is a yes to your own integrity and your future happiness. The man who is willing to walk away is the only man who is truly free to stay for the right reasons. Remember that attraction is a byproduct of being a man of character, not a result of following a script or a pickup line. You are building a legacy, not just a dating profile. So act with the dignity that a legacy requires from you. The noise of the digital world will try to pull you back into the audition, but you must remain the judge of your own experience. Your life is the prize, and anyone who wants to be part of it must meet the high bar you have set for yourself. Keep your vision clear, your heart honest, and your actions decisive as you navigate the waters of modern romance. The right connection is out there, and it is looking for the man you are currently becoming through this process of honesty. Believe in your worth, trust your journey, and never let the world convince you to be anything less than your most authentic self.